so funny we had that conversation.
Yeah, 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8,
This
9,
guy.
10.
Guys, we're going to do great stuff. Welcome to another episode of the Divinely Uninspired Podcast, the podcast from Journey Church. And with me today is my best friend, Penny. How are you doing, Penny?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm about as cold as you are. You wrapped up in a
I
blanket?
am. It's cold in here. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Why don't y'all get better blood circulation? Because it is not even that cold.
It's
I need to go to the doctor.
We should, but we don't have insurance because we work here. It's fine. Jeremy, how are you doing?
I'm great. I'm doing good.
Okay. We just have to tough it out. So
Yeah.
we are going to be back with a banger this week. We are pretty excited. And we're going to start out with the last episode. It was a real mess. We had a lot going on and we were hitting all kinds of stuff. And we missed some very important sports issues. For one, no one brought up that we didn't talk about WrestleMania. Came and went, not a word after the earthquake.
I only can watch amateur wrestling.
Oh
now.
my goodness, sad.
It's the best.
Yeah. As I've gotten to be an adult, I watch all the WWE pay-per-views because as a child they were so expensive we never ever got them.
Yeah.
But now they're all on Peacock for free, so it was a good show. We also did not discuss UK getting a new coach. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I don't want to.
You don't talk. Is it? I really don't know. Is it,
He's a good dude, and he played at UK, and he was one of my favorite players back in the 90s.
he had the denim jerseys, right? Is that?
Yeah, he played for 96.
Those were the good ones.
It was the denim, and he was the captain of the team, actually. But right now we have 3 players. 3. So I'm sure he's
3
gonna
for the
sign-
whole team.
3 for the whole team. Everybody left. Like, everybody left. It was a fire sale. And so we have 3 players right now. So we don't have enough right now to actually play a basketball game.
Huh. Do you have any eligibility left?
Me?
Yeah.
I have all. No, actually, I don't.
Oh.
I played a year of college, and so I'd have 3 years left.
Well, see, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know if they want me, though.
Oh, that's sad. I brought up the sports because we're going to just start off talking. We all brought up our own topics this week. We all brought something to the table, and some were better than others. And a surprising pre-podcast chat is leading to this next one. Hey, we're going to talk about now Caitlin Clark. Penny, if you didn't know, she is a woman and she plays sports. I know it's unheard of in these days and times, but she's apparently very good.
She's great.
Good for her.
So the big news story about her, I'm sure if anybody has a television or the internet or radio, whatever you get your information from, Caitlin Clark is this girl, this woman, and she was college basketball's all-time leading scorer, men or woman, man or women, men, women, whatever you are, she scored more points than you. So it's been quite the ordeal, even though she did not win the women's national championship.
She made it to the finals twice. So
She
that's
did.
pretty
Finals
impressive.
twice. So
And she played
is-
for Iowa, so it's not like she was playing for a powerhouse.
She is the number 1 loser 2 years in a row, so that's pretty excited. And now she's getting ready to be, I won't call her the number 1 loser, but she will be the number 1 pick, or she was the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft. Now, the issue that everybody has is we knew that was coming because, hey, she's a phenomenal person. She's a phenom. You know, she is basketball. She's women's basketball's LeBron James. And when she starts playing in Indiana next year, close by here, she will be making a robust $78,000 a season. Mm-hmm. And it has people up in arms because I believe they said, hang on, her full contract is something like $360,000, where the number 1 men's contract is $55 million, something like that.
Now, here's what I'm going to say, and this is just all facts. So this is not like I enjoy actually what's cool about Caitlin Clark, for the people that don't know at the table, is this year there were more people that watched the women's national championship than there was the men's.
Yes.
Because of Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
And I actually watched it. I didn't even watch the men's because I don't care, because UK was awful. But she's amazing. Like, she's ridiculously good. And this is going to sound bad. She's just good. Like, I know some people like preface it like she's good for a woman. No, she's good. Now, there's a lot of them like that too, so it's not. But here's the thing about WNBA. I have watched a few games. I even watched a couple games. If sports are on, I'm going to watch it. And I watched the WNBA playoffs this past year, and these are like playoff games. Now, this is like home court. Like, this is your team. And if that arena was a quarter filled, I would be shocked. And I understand the discrepancy between what the women are getting paid and what the men are getting paid, but it's also based on how much money's coming in to the arena and to the owners. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I was shocked that it was that low, because $76,000 is not very much money. But at the same time, like, you can't compare the two because of that one fact of, if you watch a WNBA game, like, You're sometimes even like going, did they know there was a basketball game going on?
Yeah.
It's not, and that's on the cities. That's not anybody else. That's on, nobody's going to these games.
I find it shocking that you watched a full WNBA game because I've seen what they call highlights online and laugh because there's all kinds of Instagrams that they throw some funny commentary up over it. And
I will say, because I've coached basketball for years, I always tell like players, I say, if you want to learn how to play basketball, you need to watch the women, not the men, because they are playing fundamental basketball. Now, it doesn't translate to always exciting basketball, but it is they are playing the fundamentals of basketball.
what do you think about the women's basketball? They're Penny.
I have no
As a
comment.
resident
Other
feminist?
than, okay, so she's making $78,000 a year.
76.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
76.
76.
Is she getting sponsorships?
Oh, she's going to
sponsors?
make a ton of money.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Hang tight.
What does she think of that?
Have you ever watched a WNBA game? We're going to get to this.
I've watched. No, I have
Okay.
never. Like maybe a highlight on Instagram.
And there's the problem.
Yes, and nor have I ever watched one. And it's been basically what Jeremy said is what I've always said. I think there's probably, and I play the sexist character often, and I think it kind of blends into my actual life sometimes. But I think there's probably a handful of WNBA players who could reasonably make an NBA team, depending on what team.
You remember Joanna Man?
Oh my gosh, Joanna Man. I don't think they're making that a reboot of that anytime soon.
Do you remember that though?
I do remember
All
that.
right.
It was funny because he was a man and he dressed up like a woman and played basketball. What a world we live in. Essentially, what Jeremy said is right. People are up in arms because she's not making very much money. And I mean, to some people, 76,000 is not, but to be the most well-known basketball player in the country.
And she's also, but now the one thing, I guess I can't use this because the number one pick in the WNBA gets a pretty nice contract. She's on a rookie contract.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's obviously going to be lower than, rookie contracts are always going to be lower than.
But I think it was $10 million the first year that person's going to get, and she's getting the 76,000.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, she's playing basketball. She's not out there doing good for really anybody. But I think the thing is the WNBA makes no money, and they're kind of subsidized by the NBA. Mm-hmm. But I think it's the handful of people who could play, and instead of saying, hey, we would like to let, and this is going to sound terrible, but look at the facts before you come at me, Penny at JourneyShepherdsville.com if you have any questions. I think they have the women's league. It's easier than saying, hey, we have these 3 women in our NBA, and then it's a big circus whenever they play. But
I think what they should probably do is, from a business standpoint, now this is not, what they should probably do is just have less teams and just have, these are the cities that people are actually attending, and then go from there, because then you have the better players, because there are some, Angel Reese, I think, didn't she play for U of L a couple years ago? And you
are the expert in women's basketball here, because I can't tell you.
I mean, so how many teams is
13.
13. Oh, so it's lower. Never mind. All right, I thought it was going to be way
Maybe we
more
could catch a dream game next week in Atlanta.
Let's go. Ooh, let's do that. Or actually, they're not playing right now.
Oh.
We go to Indiana, though. I would love to go up to Indiana and go see Caitlin Clark.
The funny thing is, those tickets will be expensive.
Let's do a field trip to go see her play.
Yeah, we should do that.
I would love to say I've seen Caitlin Clark play.
And then Penny can apologize to her in person for not standing up for her fellow woman. But and the good news is, in this case, this young lady here who, if she's out there, feel free. She can call me.
You know my favorite part about this conversation right now is that we are I am in full support. She should get more money, and the WNBA needs some stuff. As a man, and the one woman at the table has checked out of this conversation.
I really am shocked because I thought the opposite.
30 seconds into this conversation, she was pretty much done.
I don't care.
You should.
Why?
How are we going to have a woman president if we can't even have them getting paid fair in the WNBA?
There's a reason. There's a reason she's only making that amount of money. You guys just talked about it. I'm done.
What if we had a
put me in this
separate women's government that the women could have, and it would be similar but less
I'm
power?
not allowed to comment about that.
Oh, that's fair enough. Okay, we'll talk to you. I'll text you later. So this, let's see. Caitlin Clark is getting a sneaker deal with Nike that's worth 8 figures. So
yeah, she'll be all right.
Exactly.
She's
my
living
point.
in Indiana.
like I said, she's close by. If she has any interest in an older man,
What?
she's going to be worth $28 million this year, and she could give me a call.
So the other girls, there was a couple other ones.
They're women.
All right.
Let's call them women.
They're girls. They're literally younger. They could be my kid, right? They're around that age.
All right,
once she hits 25.
what are they making when they started out?
Did you say when she's 25? That's her sweet spot. Yeah, that's your sweet spot.
Let's say sweet spot. But
Wait,
it's
she's 25?
No, she's like 22.
She's 22.
Okay.
Not she doesn't own any college debt. She's debt free.
Good
She's
for her.
22 and her number is 22. Look at that.
Listen, she's going to have her own
Wow.
house, a car paid off, no bills.
And she gets to live in Indiana.
And
What a prize.
She can have, I mean, listen, the dollar will go a lot further there than it will in New York.
All right. Caitlin Clark should get paid more money. Let's go.
And she doesn't have, I mean, I can bring a couple kids to the table. She doesn't have to worry about that and messing up her game. So
She's not complaining about it.
no, she's not complaining because she's getting $28 million from Nike.
Exactly.
But I think if I was in,
So
if I'm,
So
let's
the
see.
interesting thing of this conversation, though, which is really fascinating in the new concept of college sports, because she actually had one more eligibility at Iowa. If she would have stayed and played one more year, she would have made way more money playing college basketball than now. The Nike deal is different, but like just the basketball, she would have got a lot more money playing basketball in college than she would have in the WNBA.
I like the NIL deals though.
I think it's good for
sports.
Do you feel like she made the
Oh my
wrong
gosh.
choice? Should she have stayed?
I feel like that she needed to win a national championship, and I think next year she might have had a chance. I don't know. South Carolina's pretty good. Y'all, not that you knew.
Who won the championship?
National South Carolina. They went undefeated.
Who won the men's?
Connecticut, back to back. Dan Hurley. That's who I wanted
Dan
for.
Hurley, there you
That's who I wanted for our college coach. It's Bobby Hurley's brother. Remember Bobby
I
Hurley?
remember Bobby Hurley.
Oh, it's his brother.
I was thinking Bobby Hurley when you said Dan Hurley.
Yeah, it's his brother.
Okay. That's a big sports wrap up. But hey, you know what? Women empowerment. And that leads us to Penny's topic this week that she sent to us.
I love how I checked out of that conversation.
I mean, checked out. She was checking her phone. She walked away.
I didn't walk away.
She had a sandwich. So we got Penny coming up with. All right. So Penny sent us this article, which is fun. And it started a great text chain that we will not share. But women are more effective than men in all leadership measures. Now, Penny, can you tell us why that is, you think?
Why don't you tell me why that is?
Now, I have an idea.
Okay.
And it might be a sexist idea. But I would guess it's because when women are put into leadership roles, they have something to prove. Where as a white man, I'm like, I got here because white man. But a woman's, listen, people are looking at me. They're judging everything I do. And I really need
to show them
not
that
that
I can.
men could not do a good job, but they don't necessarily do that because who cares? But as a woman, you really need to.
Terrible answer.
Man, Forbes.com they have
legit.
So many ads for our website.
Yes.
So why do you think it is?
I need to know from Jeremy. Why do you think a woman is a more effective leader? Do not.
No, okay, first
he's
of all-
reading the article down there.
Now, here's the deal. Why do you think? I think they try harder. I don't know if they are more effective. This is what Forbes is saying. And Forbes, I mean.
I have no comment.
Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do. I know you do. Why is a woman a more effective leader?
They show up more
I
effectively
don't know
than
if
their
a
male
woman.
counterparts.
No, here's this. Okay, so here's the thing about this article, and this is the thing about everything.
About everything.
I think that this is generalizing and saying women are more effective leaders. Okay, but to me that doesn't.
It's coming from a man.
No, it's a case by case thing. I think that there are some men that are just as good of leaders as women, and there's obviously. I mean, I'm pro women. There's women that are better leaders than men. And some of those men got in those positions because they were just men and that was a woman. So that's not right. After reading the article very briefly, I am not 100% sold that this is all legit. I think it was, I do agree with what they said about leadership. But so there are 5 things right here, like relating, self-awareness, authenticity, systems awareness, and achieving. Like those are the 5 big things. And
It's
I'm
where
like,
they put achieving fifth.
but here's the thing. Those are not the only 5 guiding principles of leadership.
This is what women do better.
No, those are just the 5 that fit into their category. Now, like I said, I think that there are women that are way better leaders than men. I think it's just a generalization.
No, so go down a little, right? Okay, what's happening?
There's so many ads.
It's not that women, I think, are more effective because of that, because I think men are great leaders too. It's about this right here, which is reaction to being a leader. How do you treat others? So for women, it's easier to put emotions into it.
Emotions are overrated. They are overrated.
So it says complying, protecting, controlling. Men are just more controlled leaders. Women tend to think of other people before themselves. So that's why they're just better leaders. They're more effective. People like them more.
Apparently not when they play basketball, though.
I like Caitlin Clark just fine, so calm down.
I feel like I'm not allowed to comment on this, and I feel like that
No, you are. It's fine. We're having a conversation
I really
now.
feel like as a man, I should not be commenting on this article.
Who better to comment on an article about women than men? So I think...
Was this written by a man or a woman? That would tell us
Doesn't
a lot.
matter.
100%
Yes, it
a
does.
woman wrote this article. I'm
So
just saying.
women build and cultivate stronger connections. They're just better leaders in that way. So yeah, there's...
Kevin Cruz. It's a weird name for a lady, but
Yeah.
it's 2024. Do what you want.
It was a man that wrote the article.
All right, I feel like if I say any more of my opinions on this,
No, I want to hear one more from you. So go ahead.
I think he...
No,
I think...
I just
Listen.
I said no.
If we're... Okay. He said no. And
That's my leader
it
down
means
there.
no.
Right.
He's
No,
not going to say anything else.
I don't want to get in trouble. That's
Jeremy
where
has
I'm
said...
at.
Jeremy, so far, we're in this podcast 17 minutes. Jeremy has not only defended the top women's basketball player, he's defended the entire league, and now he's saying that he has said that some women are better leaders than men. It's not. What do you want from him? Ideally is the answer you're looking for, because I feel like he has given quite a bit.
I want him to admit that he thinks men are better leaders.
No, I don't.
I don't think he believes that.
I always am a case by case. I don't like to make generalizations about anybody
Based upon the circumstances?
based upon their sex or their origin or anything. Like I think that there are. I think it's bogus that you can just say women are better leaders than men. I also think it's bogus to say men are better leaders than women.
Okay.
I think that it comes down to there are certain people that have leadership qualities, and maybe some of those qualities that this person brings up in the article do tend to lead towards more of a female mindset or perspective, but those also aren't the only, and it also depends on what you're leading. Because if you're leading some of those things, like I know I said emotions are overrated. There are certain levels of leadership or certain areas where you don't need to take emotions too much into consideration, right? And then there's other areas where you should.
Okay.
I mean, I think that is a pretty solid answer. I think the one thing that we're missing from this article is it doesn't say how hot any of these women are.
I think so. Never mind.
Paul, this article's done now.
Okay. Hey, speaking of...
Never mind. I'm not saying
No,
it.
no. Please go on.
I'm just going to turn Jeremy's mic off. It's fine.
Yeah, just turn it off.
So
please.
I think Jeremy brought up emotions or he was talking about overrated emotions. So speaking of that, we did get a new Taylor Swift album this week. So we will also step into Penny's
We
world
did.
with...
Hey, Penny, I really hope you liked my new album.
That's awesome.
that's fun.
I'm glad she reached out.
She did. Now, I will say that one thing I know before we let you discuss it is that she also seems to win at your other best friend, Kimmy K.
Oh, she did.
And I ran out of AI credits to send a Kimmy K response. So we're only getting Taylor's. So what do you think about this new double album?
So she didn't say whether she was going to release that double album. We just assumed as fans that she was going to release 2 albums.
Mm-hmm.
Last time she released it at 3 a.m., like of her Midnight's album, she released more songs at 3 a.m.
Oh,
So this album, we were all assuming like around 3, she would release Reputation, it's my favorite album. I thought she was going to re-release it. She's doing Taylor's version where she's, re-recording everything.
Mm-hmm.
No, she just doubled her album. So now she's at 31 songs for one album.
and you're an adult.
So can we?
But let's hear.
Can we?
it.
No, right.
What is wrong with Taylor Swift?
Okay, we're just
At first,
Jeremy's is off. All right, what did you think of the album as a person? Because I'll tell you, I don't think Jeremy's heard any of it, and I for sure have not.
okay, so at first I didn't like it because I felt like I wasn't like in the headspace I needed to.
Is it because you were sleepy?
No, it was very sad. Like it's very wordy. Like a lot of her songs are not as catchy as, I don't know, some of her other songs.
Yeah.
But it was okay. Like when I listened to it, I was a bit disappointed.
Oh, a Swiftie okay is like a
but-
non-Swiftie. Ugh.
I gave it another chance and I like it. I have
did you-
several I like.
Did you stream it or did you buy it?
Oh no, I stream it.
Yeah.
I don't buy that. Are you kidding me? I pay for streaming, so
Yeah, so she's getting like half a penny every 10 times.
she's a
you listen to
billionaire.
something.
She's going to
That's
be all right.
Yeah, if you can hear those eggshells being crunched, Jeremy's tiptoeing through them over. In the
So
corner.
I just feel, why 3 a.m.? Like, and I know that, like you just said, that apparently it means something, but it seems a little narcissistic that you're making your fans wait up till 3 a.m. to release an album.
She didn't.
And here's the thing. Taylor Swift, it was this sweet and innocent, just
She's not.
good. No, she was. This was her reputation. All right. She was this sweet, innocent, just, she's putting songs together. And now she's, no, you'll wait till 3 a.m. to listen to my album. This is a little Kanye territory, and they had a famous feud between the two of them, and so I just feel like it's getting a little much.
Okay.
From 31 songs, who has time to listen to 31 songs? And that's a lot of songs.
I do. I listen to every one of them.
There were a few people on my Instagram that I saw later in their stories were up till midnight to listen to this nonsense. And Jeremy has a little bit of a point here. I don't personally have a problem with Taylor Swift.
Why don't you just, instead of doing 31 songs, do 10 good ones?
Oh my gosh. All right. So anyway, I used to be more into music than I am now, but I don't recall ever staying up. And that was never, I think Jeremy's got a point here. If you put it out at 7 or 8 and then everybody gets to listen.
Sounds like something an old person would say.
Yes, but think about what day of the week did this come out?
It was releasing Friday.
Oh, so Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Friday. It was releasing Friday, so you listened to it 12 a.m.
12 a.m. Friday
3
morning
a.m.
or 12 a.m. Saturday morning?
It wasn't 3 a.m. I was trying to stop you. It was 2 a.m.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So something is happening
Did it come
here.
out Friday morning at 2 or Saturday morning at 2?
Friday morning at
So
2.
my wife, as a teacher, I'm sure is excited about all the people who stayed up till 2 to listen to this and then went to school all
I didn't
sad.
stay up. I was going to. I just didn't. Decided not to.
Did you set an alarm? Did you go to bed at 7 and then wake up at 1:30? And
I was just going to stay up to listen to it, but I wasn't going to stay up till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I was super.
But you would stay up till 2 a.m.
Yeah, I probably would
Do you know that?
to listen to it. I would have been, but I would have been really disappointed because I really wanted her Reputation album, and I didn't get it.
What's the
so
hit
Taylor,
off of
if you're
Reputation?
listening, I want that album.
What? Okay, can I ask a question? This is not me knocking Taylor. This is a serious question. Why are they called Taylor's versions? Because wasn't the original version her version?
I know why.
Okay, go
Go ahead, Paul.
Because she did not own the masters to
Yeah.
all of her hits. So she...
Is there really that much of a difference?
It's not a ton of difference, but when she recorded them again, then she owns the masters to the new recordings. So any money made
But the
off
song didn't change.
No.
It's just now she...
But now if you're looking back at how you were at 15 from when she's 30... her voice is different, and
It is different.
Did she change any of the songs other
Some
than
of
her
them.
voice?
She did add some songs came out of the vault too.
Oh.
So now you got to buy her album twice unless you're streaming.
Yeah. So
Sounds a little narcissistic.
I will say it does
But
seem
I'm glad to find that out.
a little... I like the days where it came out the one day of the week. That's when the albums dropped, and you go to the FYE, and then you just look to see what was out. You didn't have to wait up until midnight for the streaming nonsense.
I only stood in line for one album ever, and it was Beastie Boys
Stood in
Intergalactic.
line?
Yeah,
Oh.
I went and stood in line to get the album.
That's fun.
I skipped school to do it. Beastie Boys Intergalactic.
to get an album, like you bought the CD, like you waited in line to get like a vinyl. I'm confused.
I waited till the store
Not a
opened.
record.
An album.
That's
I waited till the
a
store
collection of
opened,
songs.
and then I bought the CD, and then went to school.
Yeah.
Which
I love the Beastie Boys.
in this room
That
is
was like
one
my-
thing.
My place back then.
If you said that to your children, I waited in line to buy an album to take home.
Well,
listen to
okay,
CD.
so let me
Sounds
clarify.
so-
I actually didn't. Okay, let me clarify that. I didn't wait in line because there was no line. I just waited till the store opened to go buy the CD. I was the only person in line.
We did that
Okay.
for...
There was no line for that album, but it was one of my favorite Beastie Boys
It was a
albums.
good one.
Yeah, it was.
The
I got a free T-shirt out of it too.
Look at this guy, free T-shirt. Speaking my language there. The third Eminem album, I believe, was the one that they had to release early at FYE that my friend Billy worked at because it was already leaking in other stores. They weren't supposed to sell it for 2 or 3 more days, but they had it in stock and they just decided to start selling it. We got it before it was coming out, but I wouldn't have stayed up until midnight to listen to that. I would have waited till the next day because I've always been an older man.
Do they still sell CDs?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
What do you pay for streaming a month?
But records have taken over. So if you go to the actual like music store, like the new thing is vinyl. Like everybody's into vinyl. So you'll see almost as many vinyls as you'll see like CDs.
And they are very proud of those new vinyls at like $30 to $40 a piece for.
I don't know if you guys know this. So since I think it was 2017, unless you request, no, 2016, I think the article said, unless you request it, cars don't even come with CD players anymore.
Yes,
Like, unless you like request it to be put in there, like they just don't even, like standard is just Sirius XM and then Bluetooth and all that stuff.
Yeah, Best Buy has stopped selling all physical media, so they've just moved on from that fully. But what's a cost? What do you listen to streaming on that you pay for?
Spotify.
What is that a month?
I have no idea.
Okay, this Miss
don't
Hawaii
know.
and Miss doesn't
I mean,
know.
it's
like $10 maybe.
Maybe. I mean, it's kind of like it's with other things.
Yeah.
So it's not just Spotify.
No, I mean at $10 a month, you might look at that and go, "That seems high." But we were paying $20 at one point towards the end for a CD And
Yeah.
then
We
that's
really
2
were.
months,
Like,
2 months
can
of
you-
Spotify for 10 songs.
I mean, the cost of that back in the day, that's kind of crazy.
It's really stupid. And then I would try to tell my children, and you heard the single on the radio, and you're like, I'm buying that album. And you get it home and go, that was the one good song.
Remember doing singles like where you would buy 3 songs and then you just loop the 3 songs over?
Oh, do you remember cassette singles? CD singles?
Oh,
I got
my
a remix.
goodness.
I got the instrumental. I've got a rap version for some reason.
Instrumental. That's so great.
We are the oldest people in the world. It's so sad. And I look at my parents and I think about them gathering around the radio and having 3 TV channels. But when I talk to my children about the way that we used to consume media, they look at me like I'm in black and white, and I don't appreciate it.
It's so great.
But they're not wrong. So we're going to keep stretching here because we've lost 33%.
What
of
was
our
the other store besides FYE? There was another one.
There's Record Town.
That's right. Okay.
No, there was Camelot. And there
Camelot.
was Record Town, and
That's
FYE
right.
bought them both. So
Oh.
Jefferson Mall had
That's right.
both.
That's right.
We had 2 FYEs at Jefferson Mall for a while, and I have not. I'm sure Jeremy's not going to want to weigh in on Jefferson Mall, but it's
a hot mess right now.
Wait on what?
Jefferson Mall.
Oh, I haven't been to a mall in. I don't know. I went to Oxmoor because I had to go to the Apple store recently, but that's
yuck.
the only mall. And I went to Dick's because I needed to look at treadmills. But other than that, I don't think I've actually been to a mall. I've not shopped at a mall in 6 years.
Oh, no, you don't.
Maybe longer.
We go to Dave and Buster's, and we go to the movies at the mall.
Oh, Dave and Buster's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Elliot loves Dave and Buster's. But I don't call that the mall because it has a separate entrance.
That's fair. Yeah. We have to walk by the big Victoria's Secret. It makes my children uncomfortable.
Really?
It doesn't make you uncomfortable.
No, because I say inappropriate things to them about picking out Mother's Day gifts, or
Jeez.
if we need to go to Victor's Secret and get something for Dad, and they don't care for that.
Was there a lady named Victoria? Like, is that
I'm
name
sure there
named
was.
after
She's a lot
somebody?
of notorious.
Have you not listened to that song by Jax? You need to listen to that.
Jax the rapper?
No, she's a singer.
How do you
She made a
spell that?
song about Victoria's Secret.
We'll table that. All right.
I was going to say there is a guy named
I'll send
Jax.
it to you all later.
Okay.
Please do.
I mean, it's not inappropriate. It just talks about how it's not real.
Okay, but hold
They
on.
just made it up.
Okay, but hold on. You know that
That's
Jax
Dax,
has
definitely.
the facts. So
Who
you're
does?
trusting that this Jax artist knows the story of your.
Yeah, I'm sure she looked it up when she wrote that song.
My fault. It's a rapper named Dax, and he has a song with Darius Rucker. It's big stuff.
No.
So you
okay.
think?
Who do you
Never
think?
mind. We're not going to get into all that.
We can skip for now. I'll send it to you later.
Okay, we'll put a pin in that, everybody.
I'll make sure to add it to my playlists.
All right. So, with that being said, Penny's segment is now over, and then we got to go to
We did talk about women a lot.
Women are great.
Women are great.
We joked on those words at the end. That's okay.
I was going to say a different word, but no, it's still a positive word.
You're done. Go on.
All right. So, I had to weed through some of these, and we might get into some radish talk later. But Jeremy has shared with us an article about. The title is Science Says Watching the Same Movies and Shows Over and Over Again is Actually Good for You. And then there's a picture of Friends. And I would say Friends is not the best thing because when I went to watch Friends over, I realized it was not a good show. But
I know. It's not.
hey, there's another. I mean, listen, Penny has taken all the sides I wouldn't think. What do you think about Friends?
I don't know much about it.
Okay, we'll take that. That's fine. So for anybody out there who hasn't watched Friends in a while, it's bad.
It's
And I
not
used to
that
watch
good.
it when it came out, and I thought this show is charming and fun. And we went to watch it again when it came on whatever streaming service, and it is a terrible show. And that's Paul at Journey to Shepherdsville.
The
If
only
you got a
time I
problem
ever
with
watched Friends was because I was like 16 and I thought Jennifer Aniston was an attractive female, but I never really liked the show. I was more of a Seinfeld person, and then when Seinfeld went off, I stopped watching that.
it. And again, fun stat. If you were a big Seinfeld person, it's been off there for 25 years,
It still holds up. I still watch
quarter
it.
of a century. 1999 was
I
the
still
last
watch it sometimes.
It's still good.
It's comforting.
But okay, so tell us, what do you think it is about these shows over and over? I know you like to watch The Office.
So my take on it is a couple of things. The number one part of it is people that watch the same movies over and over again. I don't understand that part. That's the part I don't get. But when it comes to shows, I think that there is comfort to it. But I also think of like shows, like I'll watch The Office, and when I start watching The Office, unless it's just on TV, but if I like purposely watching it, I'll start at episode 1, season 1, and just watch it all the way through. Not in a day, because that would take.
Not in a day, huh?
I have a life,
Yeah.
but I'll watch it over a period of time. And what's fascinating is, there's so many seasons. There's so much stuff that I forget that happened, and then I'll watch it again, and I'll be like, oh yeah, or I'll pick up on new stuff that and it just makes me like the show more. So I've done that with The Office. I've done that with Parks and Rec. I've done that with Justified. I've probably watched Justified the most times all the way through. It's still probably my favorite show.
I just finished a Justified watch because I wanted to watch City Primeval.
Yeah.
But
so I do agree with the shows, and I think it's interesting that people do that. And I think it's interesting. I also think, I don't know if you heard this one time, like, I think we have talked about this, that like when I have a lot of playlists and different stuff, but I still a lot of times go back to what I listened to in 1998.
Oh yeah.
Like I'll go back and listen to like Sublime and Bob Marley and Beastie Boys and Rage Against the Machine and all that stuff. Like
good classic rock, like we like it.
Yeah. But the movie part, I don't know.
What do you think, Benny? Is there anything that you visit frequently?
I think he's wrong. Movies are great over and over again. That's why people watch Harry Potter like 10 times.
Ugh.
It's comforting. It's predictable.
You watch Harry Potter 10 times. You mean isn't there like 7 of them?
There's 9 seasons of The Office.
Yeah, but
poo-poo this.
No, but okay. Movies are like, okay, we'll get.
I think this is interesting because I do both TVs and movies over and over. There are things that I could just watch.
What do you watch over and over again? Like movies?
I could just sit down and watch Tommy Boy. But it's stuff from, and I think it's because it's very comforting. It's things from.
No, the question would be that would you purposely turn on a movie you've watched a bunch of times, or is it just because it's on TV you would rewatch it?
Well, I don't have TV where things are just on TV, so I have to sit down and watch it because I'm not 70. But we have streaming services and you could pick, and I think that becomes an issue too because there's so many choices, and it's another thing my children get tired of hearing about. But like when we were kids, our cartoons were all made in the 40s, and we were still enjoying them in the 80s. And now they have 3 new series that come out a week. But if you turn on Netflix and you've got Max and you've got Peacock and you've got Paramount Plus, and you're looking at all these things, and there's an endless supply of new things. And if I don't hear at least 3 or 4 recommendations from somebody else, I very rarely watch something new. Yeah. So I'll find something old and put it on, and it's, I think, like this article said, like Jeremy said, it's comforting, it's predictable, it's, it's just entertainment for a little bit. And I very rarely, honestly, just sit down and watch TV. Like I'll do it while I work, just have something on.
But what I'm saying is, so like my favorite movie is Braveheart. So like I've probably seen Braveheart 4 times. Like, and that when that probably came out in what, mid-90s maybe. I mean, so we're talking 20.
Listen, I'll be honest, that's 4 more times than I've seen it.
Yeah, but
I've never seen
it's
Braveheart.
The greatest movie. It was before Mel Gibson went crazy, but it's such a good movie. But I've seen it like 4 times. But if it's on, and like you said, I don't have TV anymore. So, but if it's on, I'll sit down and watch it. But I would never like purposely look it up on Netflix or like something like that to watch it because I've seen it and I know how it ends.
I do the person who wrote this article because they said Office seasons 1 through 6 and seasons 1 through 3 of Arrested Development.
Ooh, I do love Arrested Development.
Seasons 1 through 3, I love it. Yeah, I could sit down and there's just something good. I've been rewatching the X-Files now that we have Hulu on Disney Plus for some reason, and I really enjoy that. The special effects do not hold up, but
I was thinking out at that age.
The story is, I mean, I like, I like watching these shows and just thinking like there was no phones, and it's another old man thing to say, but everybody's just, they're doing all this research without computers, and he's just got piles of, I found this alien photo from this file, and then, 6 million pieces of paper over here, there's this, and I'm like, how did you do anything? How did we get anything done in the 90s? I
also feel like though with movies now, like they're just remaking the same stuff over and over again. I feel, does that make sense too? I feel like that they've got stopped getting creative with movies. Shows are still getting there's so much content, it's just
there's too much content.
Yeah.
Disney has started to do that. Remake just the same movie again.
Well, now they make live action versions.
I know, I don't
cartoons.
like it, and they're terrible.
Or like they're just making old shows into movies. Like I saw The Fall Guys getting ready to come out. You guys remember The Fall Guys?
Now it's getting like real. They've been doing that for a long time, but The Fall
Gosling.
Guy is very obscure. That's not even. Yeah. Was that even a hit?
Oh, I love The Fall Guy. I had the little truck and everything.
Show?
Yeah, the truck with the little eagle on front.
Jeremy's the youngest one of the 3 of us, and The Fall Guy. You got any thoughts on The Fall Guy?
Nope.
It's about a stuntman, right?
Yeah, but he also does other stuff.
I got a Kate and Allie.
Ooh, I love the A-Team.
Simon and Simon toys.
I love the A-Team.
The A-Team is different. That's fun, but they made that into a movie already.
MacGyver.
They made that. They redid that into a TV show, a new TV show.
I haven't seen that.
No, and it already got canceled because people don't watch TV and they don't want MacGyver again.
All right, I get the TV shows. The movie thing, I don't get.
So you don't understand the movie? You don't understand why Jeremy doesn't care for that?
It doesn't make any sense.
What do you watch over and over that's not Harry Potter? Is it Twilight?
No, absolutely not.
Is it, where everybody disappeared?
No, the Left Behind.
Left Behind, there you go.
I do like to read books over and over again too, though.
Yeah.
But probably Pride and Prejudice is my go-to.
Movie or book or both?
Both.
Oh.
You don't have time to read the book. It takes 6 years.
You need to calm down.
It's so many pages.
I like it. It's comforting.
Yeah.
You know what I would think? Jane Austen. She's the author, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I get her confused. What was the other lady that worked with the monkeys?
Jane Goodall.
Yeah, I get them confused sometimes.
I thought you were going to say Steve Austin. Yeah.
Awesome.
I always get them confused. I've actually said that Jane Goodall before about the author and Jane Austen about the woman that taught the gorillas sign language.
If she put the gorillas in little frilly dresses, that would be fun.
Ooh, how awesome would it be if it was the same person though? That is the life.
That's her
like
pen name?
you wrote these classic books and then you also taught gorilla sign language.
Is that what she did with the gorillas?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not
Is that
all about
Gorillas in the Mist? Is
teaching
that her?
them.
Is that?
I don't know if that is or not. I haven't seen that. Is that a movie?
I think so. I think it was a movie about somebody teaching gorillas, not Congo, where they have the lasers and the one speaks sign language.
The only movie I've ever seen about gorillas is King Kong.
Which the new one? A
I
robot
do like
for
the
some
new
reason?
ones. No, I haven't seen the new one, but I do like that new. I like what they're doing with it. I like Godzilla.
Yeah.
I used to love Godzilla. As a kid.
I saw all those terrible. So those movies I don't think hold up at all either. They come
No, they
on
don't.
Pluto TV, and my kids just look at me like there's a guy in a puppet suit. Like
Yeah.
he really is. He had a son.
Yeah.
Godzilla or King Kong had a son at some point. King Kong had heart
Who do you have
surgery.
a son with? Don't you have? Is there a female Godzilla? I mean, King Kong.
I mean, I feel like.
I don't want to get into the semantics here, but how do you
So,
have a son? If,
Listen, in the trailer of the new one, there's a whole world of
Yeah.
Kongs underground,
yeah. Okay.
and he's the king of them. So he can, prima
Well-
nocte, and he does what he wants.
For the 3 people still listening.
All right, we are off
All
topic.
right, we got through this a little quicker, but I had an extra article that I found looking at stuff, and I want to say first of all, if we want to get into this discussion, we'll be going to a conference in the next week, and some of the best times I've had with this crew of people at church are these trips, including the time that we went around the Holy Land 15 times looking for dinner. But there's 6 Christian amusement parks, and what's going on. And Holy Land, of course, made it to number 1.
That doesn't exist anymore.
No, they closed it. I can't. It's hard to believe. They had the Goliath Burger, a Bible-themed mini golf. They had a rock wall and a crucifixion every day at noon.
Did you know what's the place where Mammoth Cave is at? I know it's called Mammoth Cave, but no, the town there. It's not Glasgow. Glasgow's further in Guntown Mountain or Guntown Mountain and all that stuff. It's called something. Anyway,
it's fine.
Doesn't matter.
Right. Go on.
65 South.
They had a mini golf course there, and it was the theme. It was called Golgotha Mini Golf. And it was every hole was a scene from Jesus' life, and then the 17th hole is the crucifixion, and then the 18th hole is the resurrection.
I mean, there's a lot.
But it was Golgotha, and we used to go there just because it was fun, and so they sold fudge there,
Yeah.
and all the fudge had a cross stamped on it and stuff, and it was. But yeah, this was a real place that existed.
I mean,
We actually would drive down there to go to Guntown Mountain because that place was awesome, and then we'd go to Golgotha Mini Golf.
as my oldest daughter has gotten to be a middle schooler, we've started watching some of The Simpsons, and I forget they take a lot of shots, at Christianity, and some of them rightfully so as you go through this list of things. But yes, as a Christian golf course with fudge stamps and Heritage USA with Jerry
There's a
Falwell.
documentary about this. It's fascinating.
What's it called?
I don't know. Just you can Google. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a fascinating documentary.
I'd like to take a look at that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of Flanders adjacent.
Is he in clothes going down?
He isn't. He's in a suit
slide?
going down a water slide.
Yeah, there's a
Awesome.
documentary about
That's Jerry
this.
Falwell.
There's a documentary about this one, and there's a documentary about the other one that the other people tried to make.
That
That'd be
picture
hilarious.
won an award for excellence in photojournalism. There's Holy Land USA. There's
Where's
these
that
things. That is in, looks like Connecticut,
Oh, okay.
which is not where I would have thought. Would
Noah's
be.
Ark. Okay, go down.
This is the Dutch Noah's Ark. This is not our Noah's Ark.
Mm.
This is,
That's
let's see,
awesome.
Oslo. It collided with a Coast Guard boat and had some troubles. We made the list with the Creation Museum that's close by here. I think what I really wanted to get into, though, was what has happened to relevantmagazine.com. Has anybody been on there lately?
Yeah, they had a change in ownership.
Did they have a change in ownership the way that, like,
I think it was a forced change.
that Rhett and Link had a change in ownership where now they don't really do as much religious stuff because
they're under tabs. You have to go to the tabs, and so the faith.
it's the worst thing. Like you can't right click things. You can't make another like tab up here. It says we own this if you try to right click and or it goes right to it if you're using a Chromebook that doesn't have the 2 mouse function. But anyway, it's a terrible website. They're talking about music festivals. They're talking about whatever. And I will say for the last year, we've got quite a bit of content from Relevant, but it seems like it might be on its way out. And I'm going to go to the list of backup things we've got to talk about.
We haven't talked about how stubborn we are.
Oh, we didn't do. You know what? Hey, you know what, everybody? I apologize because we had a talk before we turned the mics on about stubbornness, and I forgot that we didn't talk. I thought, man, this really wrapped up quick. So another thing that was brought to us this week was an article about.
Actually, it was a quiz.
Okay, so when we got going here we have a little text chain that we pass ideas back and forth, and it was getting a little hostile with, I think it was Penny's thing saying about how great women are. And
it wasn't hostile. I didn't say anything.
That was followed up by Penny something about.
I think women are great. I already said it 3 times now.
My mom was a woman. How do I hate women? That's from the British office. Penny was responded back with a how to deal with chronically stubborn people article. And you could just feel it dripping with sarcasm coming at it. But then Penny sent us a quiz, and it's how stubborn are you? So since Penny sent us this quiz, she can start. What'd you get on that score, Penny? This is a self-taken test.
I'm actually curious if you think I am. Am I stubborn?
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say on like a scale of 1 to 10, like a 6, maybe 6, 7.
Wow.
Like you're not like an. I mean, I don't even want to get any higher than that. And what I would think about.
I don't feel like you are though. Well, are you stubborn?
What did the internet tell you?
It said I was pretty stubborn.
Oh, did it say pretty period and stubborn?
Yeah.
Or did it say pretty stubborn?
It's pretty stubborn.
Oh, okay. It wasn't being sexist. That's nice.
Yeah.
What'd you get, Jeremy? Because I'm going to say Jeremy's probably a stubborn guy.
Mine said very stubborn.
Oh, okay.
Mine said a little.
Oh, that's what I kind of assumed.
So is very bigger than pretty? So it's pretty
stubborn. You're like
pretty
I feel
stubborn
like I'm
versus
like
very stubborn.
an 8 and you're like a 10.
To me, pretty stubborn is you're stubborn, but someone doesn't want to point a finger at you and go, that person's stubborn. But very is that person is out of control.
I feel like that very is not as bad.
That's the most stubborn answer I've ever heard about that. So what? How do you deal with stubborn people that you work
stubborn.
with?
I don't need a
How
quiz
do
to tell
you
me.
deal with stubborn people?
How do you deal with it, Jeremy? This is your thing.
I'm very stubborn, so you just have to do what I say. That's kind of the easiest way to get along with a stubborn person is just give up and just assume that they're right.
Should we phone in Jamie and see
Right.
No.
how you deal with a stubborn person?
Yeah, I think everybody's stubborn. I think that's just...
But that, okay, again, what you're doing is you're taking a stubborn person's stance on it. We're all this way. It's not just me. Okay. I will tell you how I deal with it because I may or may not have stubborn people in my house with me. And I guess I might not say that I'm not stubborn, but I take a different approach to it. And this is with most things that I've dealt with in my life. And maybe as people who are on the other side of the stubborn spectrum can attest to, they think that what they have to say is important and that they're correct most of the time. And I don't like an argue. So the one question was, are you very confrontational? And I would go I'd go to great lengths to avoid a confrontation or an argument. Say, I don't care for that. And to the point where I think it's bad and unhealthy because my contention is that if we're arguing about something, I am right because I have gone through every scenario in my head. I've looked at it from every angle. There's a scene in one of the Marvel movies where Doctor Strange looks at every reality before he makes his decision. I have done that to avoid this conversation and to this argument. So if I'm in the argument with you, it is because I am 100% correct and you're wrong and there's no change in my opinion. However, I don't think that about everything, but if we're fighting about it, you're wrong because
That's stubborn.
that is somewhat stubborn. However, that's great lengths. So out of 100, if we had 100 different opinions, there's 2 that I would get into a fight with you about. Because usually I would just go about my own business and I'd listen to what you have to say and then ignore it.
Okay.
But I would, you feel good because you got your opinion out. No one said you're stupid.
I didn't actually read this article. I have no idea how to deal with a stubborn person.
So you should look in the mirror first. That's how you start. Just MJ said, that's where the difference begins. So,
And they're talking about politics.
no, we don't want to get into what they're talking about here, but that's when I start thinking about stubborn people. People that start digging their heels in, they've heard maybe a smidgen, and this is probably a very good religious one too, where they've heard something. And if you'd missed last week's, there was a lot of good stuff Jeremy had to say about that, but they've heard a snippet of a Bible verse and they've decided that's their whole life. And they don't know the context. They don't know anything else around it. They can't look past those 10 words. And they dig their heels in, and then they will argue to the death about that. So I think that is a big deal in religion. We won't get into politics, but it's similar.
So there's only one person here that's chronically stubborn.
You both are stubborn. Oh my gosh, what are you? That's the.
I think you need to listen to the words that he's saying. This is.
You both are the most stubborn people, and you both are just pushing it off to the side. And I'm the one that's not stubborn, and I'm the one that admitted to it all. What is wrong with you all?
I'm admitting that I'm stubborn. I know I'm stubborn.
I'm not very stubborn though. I'm just pretty stubborn. It's a different. There's difference. In
I feel like you
levels.
may have lied. I think you lied on the test. I think that's probably what happened. How about this, Paul? Why don't you take it for both of us, and then we'll see what happens?
No, I don't like that because then it's me judging you all, and that's not who I am because I don't like that.
But no, I don't. Listen, I know how stubborn I am. Like, it's a lot.
I think if anybody out there who is listening is or knows a psychologist or a psychiatrist and wants to go back about maybe about the 43-minute mark, maybe on this podcast, cut that out and send it to them and ask them to do a write-up of what just happened, because it is the most absurd psychological thing that just happened where the two people who the internet and the quiz said, yeah, you're stubborn, both said, everybody's stubborn. Oh, I'm not that stubborn. And the person they said is a little stubborn took full ownership of all of it and admitted all the stuff. It's absurd what is just going on.
That's because you don't want to be confrontational.
I'll be confrontational here. No, I don't like getting in arguments, but I mean, that's my big deal. I don't like an argument. I don't know.
Oh, I love an argument.
Because you're always right, right?
I am always right.
I see that.
And even when I'm not, I'm still not good. Like, I do have the problem. No, I won't. Like, I would have to be like, that's their perspective. That's one of my favorite ones. That's their perspective.
We may never know.
Yeah, we don't ever know. This is Jell-O. Well, I don't know if it is. We'll just never know, actually.
What is this? Is Jell-O? What does that mean?
We had to play to Jell-O, and I didn't think it was. And it's clearly Jell-O. Okay. If you took the position of it's Jell-O, I'd be like,
who's to say?
Yeah, who's to say? It may not be.
Oh, my gosh. All right. Well, I apologize to both of you for letting that happen. But I think we did some good work here today. What do you want to plug, Penny? You got anything going on coming up? That's a joke. I'm just kidding. Oh, hopefully.
What joke? Do you have anything you want to plug? That's a joke.
That's how podcasts usually end, where they have a guest on in there. Where can we find you on social, Penny?
No, don't find me on social.
Yeah.
You won't find me on social.
Nope, she's not very social.
They won't find you on social?
Not on Facebook, which is
there's multiple. There's multiple.
You can
socials.
find Jeremy on Twitter.
You can find me on Twitter. I'm on Facebook.
No,
I'm just not going to reply to anything you say or look at anything you say. But I'm on there. Now, if you tweet something interesting and under 140 characters, you might get me.
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok.
No one cares. Sorry, I don't want to be ugly. But
I don't make TikToks, but you can find me on there.
You don't make TikToks.
But I like to watch them.
Oh my gosh, why?
Are you serious right now?
I wish this was a video podcast because the look that I just got was the most disgusted face.
We just had this huge discussion over the fact that TikToks are what you watch on Instagram. You're not watching Reels. You're watching old TikToks, and you love them.
I like funny little songs.
Or you could just not watch any of it and just...
You hush.
Go on with your life.
No. See, you could get on board and start watching some funny things.
I do watch funny things. Arrested Development, The Office, Parks and Rec. I watch so much stand-up comedy. By the way, I'm on a huge stand-up comedy kick right now. I can't watch enough stand-up comedy specials. It's all the time.
Well, see, that's funny to me because that was me for a bit, but I listen to mostly podcasts now, and I like comedy podcasts, and it's ruined a lot of stand-up for me because it's hard for that to happen. For some reason, I can't get into that as much. Is there anything recommendable that you can say on the podcast?
Anything Nate Bargatze is good.
He's good.
I like, what's the guy that just came out? He used to be the writer for Dave Chappelle. White guy.
Neil Brennan.
Neil Brennan. I don't know if I should recommend it, but it's good. His stuff's always really good. And then there's other stuff I just can't.
So probably.
I would recommend to you behind the scenes.
Anything on Nate Land's.
Yeah, I love the Nate Land podcast. All of those guys are good.
Greg Warren, that his friends with, is very.
Mike, I can't say his name. He's Italian. Vecchione.
Yeah.
He's really funny. Yeah, anybody that Nate Bargatze promotes is going to be funny and relatively clean. Yeah, because that's kind of his whole thing.
That is a big deal. Now, Nate has really turned to the family-centered.
He's legitimately I'm not saying this. Like, I've been listening to him for 10 years, so before he ever got big. Like, when his first album came out, like, he's legit the biggest comic in America. Like, he's selling out arenas of 20,000.
He was on SNL.
Yeah, he's legit. But I do love Nate Bargatze. Anything Nate Bargatze, if you've never listened to his stuff, you should.
So an ideal podcast outing, we go see Nate Bargatze, and then the next day go see the Indiana Fever play basketball.
Oh, that would be awesome.
What a double day that would be.
Sounds amazing.
So we'll be back in a couple weeks with another.
We could go see Taylor Swift, but we can't get tickets because she's gouging her fans pretty good. And
I would like you all forever if you got me Taylor Swift tickets.
She would like us forever, not even love. Just I would tolerate you for a month and a half if you got me a $7,000 seat to see something that I could listen to for free. So
31 songs. How long is her concert? So she's doing an album that's 31 songs. What is it, like a 6-hour concert?
4 or 5.
She's
4 or 5 hours.
Jeremy just made the same.
Sounds
face.
awesome.
No.
Yeah.
What?
If you're paying by the hour, that's
how
only
much are they charging? I mean, are
$1,500 an hour.
Are they giving you drinks and food with the price of this?
No.
And the fact that they're keeping you there for that long?
No, Mama's getting a little taste of the
I
concessions.
mean, this feels
too,
like a hostage situation. This feels like just.
There are some
Sounds
dads.
great.
There are some dads out there who really.
Are you saying they're really her concerts are 4 or 5 hours long? That's not.
Yeah. She has a lot of music. This last era.
Don't look at me.
Tour. It was all of her music. Why wouldn't it be?
Did you not
4 to
watch it
5
on Disney Plus? It's got.
No, oh yeah,
It's all there, and you could watch it at home.
Yeah, I was ready to stream that one. No, 4 or 5 hours though. Jeez, I mean, I love music.
What about Springsteen? He does that now.
I do love Bruce Springsteen.
Would you see him for 4 hours?
No, I mean, you get an hour to 2 hours is pretty good. Yeah, I'm done. After that,
We need to be done with this podcast. It's so off topic.
it's not.
I
It
think
all
this
fits
is the
together.
topic. This is what we
People
do.
have checked
We
out.
are uninspired.
This is just one of those. This you need to label this one like the whatever podcast. Like this week was just whatever was needed to be.
Well,
talked
so we'll be
about.
back in a couple weeks. Next week we will be at a conference together. Hopefully, we'll all still be here, and we'll be riding in a van together for far too long. We'll be staying together in a hotel far too long. Probably the three of us in the one room, right? We'll bring the mics. And
Don't put that on here.
Not happening.
And so we'll be back next time with another great episode. And thanks for listening.